Welcome to the Janine Bolon Show, where we share tips from around the globe as we guide practical people with their finances using money tips, increase their incomes through side businesses, and maintain their sanity by staying in their creative zone.
Hello, Janine Bolon here, and welcome to today's show, which is loaded with incredible content on saving your knowledge, saving your slumber, and we're going to give a few restful tips for those of you struggling to get a good night's sleep. Now, the Janine Bolon Show is a syndicated program of 4 podcast shows that were combined in October of 2021, and I just want to give a shout out and a thank you to those of you who have been following me since 2004 with the Practical Mystic Show, 3-Minute Money Tips, the Thriving Solopreneur, and the Writer's Hour Creative Conversations. You guys have followed me all through that, and we are now part of the Janine Bolon Variety Show. And I want to thank you for being a dedicated listener. And that will pay off because today we are highlighting Jeff Giagnocavo, who is a sleep master, a mattress expert, the author of the book Sleep Better, and a designer of a new clothing line experience called Signer 57. And on top of all of that, he's a podcaster, just like myself, with the Big Ticket Life Show. So we are thrilled to have him. Let me give you a little background on this guy. Jeff is the co-owner of Gardner's Mattress and More in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He is known for being a Reader's Choice winner. He has a wonderful dream room that is absolute in his mattress store, where you have the relaxed private hotel suite like atmosphere where you can actually test drive your mattress before you buy it. I mean, who has ever heard of these things? It's part of their 7-step wake up happy promise that they guarantee you. So I know we're usually talking about authors and all this, but this is an author who has written a book on how to sleep better and owns a mattress store. So, I mean, this is amazing. Now, as if that's not enough, that they have the dream room where it helps you with your mattress selection. Jeff also helps face-to-face selling business owners on Main Street win at the game of Amazon. So like big ticket methods to help them live a big ticket life. He helps business owners do life and business on their own terms. Who wouldn't want a mentor like that? Now it gets better. I know I've talked a lot about this guy, but just check this out. In April of 2022, this year, Jeff launched his clothing brand Signer 57 line. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we get into the show. This is more than clothing. It's a movement to align and mobilize citizens about America, about the sacrifice that the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence, not only did they sacrifice, but are you willing to be Signer 57? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we move forward. Now, again, this year, May 2022, Jeff worked with Dr. Brian Howley to introduce a unique mattress solution for short-term rental property owners, such as those that you may have used with Airbnb and VRBO, which enables them to dig deeper on the guest experience and get more 5-star reviews while increasing the revenues through their property. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
That was like the intro to end all intros. I'm tired listening to it, and I'm that guy.
And you're that guy. I get very excited when I have multidimensional authors on, your business owners, your podcasters, you're writing books. You're just give. You're what we call servant leaders. And whenever I get a servant leader like yourself on the show, I get very excited. I do the long intro just so people know all the fun stuff that you're doing. So yeah, thank you for your work, and talk to us about this neat book that you wrote called Sleep Better. What was the purpose of it, and when did you actually write that thing?
Yeah, Sleep Better actually was, I guess it was a pre-COVID idea, but it really finished and wrapped up in the throes of the spring and early summer of 2020. It's I guess a genesis of a couple other guides that we'd written. We started out with a What's Keeping You Up mattress buying guide that became 2 other guides focused on the niches of the adjustable bed bases where your head and foot move up and down, and then a guide about natural mattress options and natural solutions that you can sleep on and, involve yourself with at night. So Sleep Better really kind of became this tidy one place book, because my grandmother, I love her dearly. She never felt that my guides were books. And
No.
she told me as much.
Oh
I
no.
was able to give grandma a book on the bookshelf with a spine and 100 or so pages. And so Sleep Better just kind of became this. This is a whole lot about sleep and sleep tips. And we've actually had customers say, I'm going to wait on the mattress because those tips you gave me actually work, which is fine.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's how it came about.
So would you consider yourself as somebody who had a marketing background before you started writing your book?
Yeah, I mean, I came into the direct response marketing world on the other side of this industry. I currently own a retail business in the mattress and furniture industry, but used to be on the wholesale side. And I found direct response marketing because I wanted to do better for my customers. I needed to bring a new value as their sales rep. And so that was about 15 years ago. And I've been a big student. I've got a massive library, all kinds of programs, and I've rubbed elbows with some of the top guys in direct response marketing for a number of years now.
So for those of us who don't know what direct response marketing is, what are you saying exactly? Help me out here.
Oh, okay. So this is not like what Coca-Cola does. Direct response marketing is you market something with the goal of being able to track what happened, which in most cases you want to be a sale. If it can't be a sale, you at least want to put a name on a list somewhere that you can reach out and talk to, text, phone, mail, email tomorrow. So
that is exactly right. So there is so many differences with marketing, and some people talk about direct response. Some people say click and pay. It just depends on what your focus is and what you're wanting to do. So I thank you for defining that for those of us who may not know what that's all about. So let's talk a little bit about your book. Was it purposefully designed to be a lead magnet, or did you really just want to have it be just an educational tool guide for your people?
Well, I mean, it was designed to be more of an authority piece, which essentially, I think can be both. It just depends on the context in which it's being given out. But it's really that authority piece, because if somebody is considering my business or another business, who's going to win, the store with a business card in hand and the scratch through price that has the 24-hour deadline, or the person with the book whose team can say, look, our owner wrote this book because we really truly believe in the power of sleep here. And whether you buy a mattress from us or not, these tips will help. If you buy a mattress, they'll magnify your experience with the mattress. So here you go. And so it's an authority piece, but we use it like as a Swiss Army knife of our marketing.
Right. Excellent. So you have tools for everything in your toolbox, and that's awesome. So you were able to write this and get it out in 2020. If you were to start marketing your book today, what would you change about your marketing tactics today rather than what you had before?
Yeah, I mean, we have a neat thing that we do here. We get a lot of reviews online, but I get about 3 times as many offline. So I get these handwritten forms in 2022 we give them on delivery. Our customers write them out, mail them back with their own stamp. And we get about 3 times more of those than we do online reviews.
That's crazy. Who's ever heard it? That's wild, man. That's crazy.
It blows my mind. Am I allowed to give a link where if somebody's listening to this, they can go see exactly what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So if you go, and this is not a plug to my store because I'm a local business. I can help you from afar, but it's not our main thing. But I do, if you're into this, check it out. gardnersmattressandmore.com/reviews. And right on that page, you'll see these handwritten reviews. And here's the lesson. We catalog those reviews by aches and pains. So there's like click view, PDF flippers. I'm not the tech guy around here, so I don't know.
That's exactly okay. That's okay.
You click it, PDF comes up, but they're cataloged by aches and pains. So how we've helped people with back pain, neck pain, snoring, just the overall experience of having a good experience. And then, they had an old mattress and it was time to replace it. So I think those are the 5 that we've broken it out because the reviews said as much. And the connectiveness that we have, because we've now printed those review books out in the store, And when we have somebody leaving to consider their purchase with a quote in hand, we give them that testimonial book, because rather than us talk for another 20 minutes about how great we are, we just say, well, here's a whole bunch of customers that have back pain just like you, and we've been able to help them. So I would take Sleep Better book, and I would probably point at, better sleep tips for, couples that can't compromise, couples who deal with snoring, couples who deal with back pain. We actually just shot a whole infomercial around those three main points. So I'd probably do that. I would more specificity
with what you were doing. Okay, thanks so much. I appreciate you talking to us about that. Well, one of the things I like to ask each author is, what worked well when it came to either selling your book or getting your book out there? What are some of the things that you did that worked best? So you have a walk-in brick and mortar business. So you have people walking in the door. So as they walk out, you can hand them a book. But when it comes to selling it, do you sell it, or is it free everywhere?
It is free. It's a free book. We have a price tag on it, but it is a free book. Really speaking locally and reaching out to various organizations has been the biggest, most powerful thing for that. So I've spoken to weight loss groups, actually have been like the best one.
Wild.
Folks that are dealing with weight loss, and I'm certainly not getting any phone calls to be on posters anywhere, but folks with weight loss, just kind of poor sleep goes hand in hand. So we can really give them some tips to help. And if they can sleep better, actually their weight loss journey is going to be a little easier. So they do work well. So those audiences are great. Obviously, like your Rotary type things, referral group type things are great. But really having that book has been an entree to be viewed as an authority. Like we have a large NBC News, or the NBC station in our area is the station. It's them and then everybody else. Something like a 4.5 million viewership they have, or coverage area. And they came to us because of the book.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
They came to us for the tips on sleeping better, and specifically pillow tips. They came to us, and we got like a wonderful 3-minute piece. And it was because of the book. And
that is amazing.
They flashed it right there on the segment. So it was great.
When stuff like that happens, I get so excited for authors, because those are moments where you're able to get your message out there. Like, you wrote the book to help people out, and you're able to serve so many more when you have those little 3-minute segments that somebody will do for you. Now, here's my favorite question I like to ask authors, and that is, what process did you try that was an epic failure when it came to getting your books out there?
This one bothers me so much.
Go ahead, get it off your chest so nobody else does it. And thank you for falling on the grenade for us, dude. So what happened?
You would think on paper this would work phenomenally well. So if you're listening and you were told by whatever store you're in, whatever you're buying, hey, we want to make you look really great to your friends. We're going to give you a $100 value gift box to give to your friend or family member. It's got a pillow case in it that when your friend comes in, we're going to make it custom to them right in front of their eyes. It's got a coupon in it for a future purchase and a copy of the Sleep Better book. All I ask from you is, do you have an idea of who that person is that you think would really enjoy this gift box? That was all we asked. We didn't ask for their address. We didn't ask for their phone number. We just wanted kind of that mental buy-in, that mental commitment that they're going to give it to Julie or Brian or whoever, right? People looked at us like we had 3 heads.
Oh, no.
It was as if we like undid the sale, and you could see them wanting to take the credit card back and put it in their wallet.
Oh, no. As a business owner, that's like, oh, no. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson.
Right. And I mean, we tried and tried to massage that around, but it just flopped. And I can't figure it out.
Right. And that is saying something, because you are known as the big idea guy when it comes to brick and mortar businesses on Main Street. You're the dude, and people come to you. And for something like that, no wonder it bothers you so badly, because you're like, man, we could never make that a magic key, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're recording this, and you can see me kind of peeking behind my desk. I don't have it here, but I mean, it was a nice. Oh, I do have it, but anyway. For the purposes of this, it doesn't matter because you won't see it, but it's a nice presented gift box.
Right. It's not like it was a piece of crud. You were giving a quality piece of, yeah, no, I understand. Sometimes the ideas that we come up with, we're sold on them, but wow, like you said, it's like you gave them a hot potato and they were like, oh, we're running in the opposite direction. So, yeah. Well, on a slightly different thing, when you go out and you tell your story, what is the story that you tell about yourself that gets the most laughs from your target audience?
So, I'm a pretty self-deprecating guy. I kind of touched on that about, the weight, the extra pounds that I carry around, but really that's a result of a lot of issues that I've had, from motorcycle accidents to wrestling, football, construction, you name it. So you're just connecting with people that way. Typically it'll get some chuckles. It'll get some nods of camaraderie,
especially with the motorcycle.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So it's more that kind of a conversation than anything. But it does create that connectiveness. So we aren't like belly laughing, but there is a connection there for sure.
Awesome. So for you, what's the biggest change you've seen in yourself, since you started marketing your book?
I think a lot of people as business owners, whether you're a business owner or a business owner and author, I think you can question the true value that you have and the true sense of self-worth that you have.
True.
Like I used to kind of, self-deprecation is part of my shtick, I guess, but I used to kind of be ashamed almost of saying I own a mattress store. Now today I say, when I'm at if I'm in a new room introducing myself, I tell people I do business in your bedroom.
That's great. That's great.
And I say, I help people live a more productive, happier, and healthier life. Mm-hmm. And people say, well, tell me about that. I'm like, yeah, I put in your bedroom the vehicle that makes all that happen, your mattress.
Right. And everybody starts chuckling. That's brilliant. Mm-hmm. That's lovely. What a byline. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you're the big idea guy. You're the person that people go to. So talk to us about what 5 tips you would give authors that are selling their books.
Yeah. So if you look at, I kind of laid out the genesis of Sleep Better. It began with 3 individual buying guides. Sleep Better is a 4th. We have 4 other of those review books. It doesn't need to be War and Peace. Like if you have a lot to say, that's great. But you might think intentionally about breaking that out. We live in a world where attention span is just not that great. And you might be more successful having a series or volumes of things that just work to publish in a smaller page count. So that would be the first one. A professional press release would be very wise. We did that early on. We actually did that in COVID when the only news was COVID. So we actually, I think, got a lot more juice out of that than we deserved, because we were just something completely different in that time of 24/7 news. But be that as it may, having a proper, professionally done press release will help. Locally, we sent books and press releases to local, press outlets, people that had an audience. We did that. And then get it as many ways out there as you can, so on your website, in your place of business, as a pass along, at a networking event, put it in your funnels. I have it in my email signature. This infomercial we shot, it's in there. It's in email campaigns. It's a next micro step for almost any which way we can think of. We put it out there.
And do you actually ship these books out, or is it just a digital book? Yeah, that makes a difference too. I've noticed a lot of the ebooks may not get traction, whereas if you're shipping a book to somebody, it's amazing how many more responses you get on that. Yeah.
Yep. And actually, I'll share a little bit of insider baseball about the Sleep Better book. I've also licensed that out to other sleep retailers. So that's the reason it's not for sale online. Because part of that package is you are the Sleep Better expert in your market. So you can't very well be the same expert if it's like all over the place online.
Right.
But, so we do it, I leverage the book that way as well in my business life. And then last would be to develop that challenge, develop a challenge around the book content if it's educational oriented. Maybe there's a challenge opportunity for other types of content, but like we have a 30-day Sleep Better challenge that tracks 5 specific sleep habits. And then throughout that challenge and 30 days of communication, we're referencing back to the Sleep Better book.
Fabulous. Excellent. Thank you so much for those tips, because it's very unique being able to have a brick and mortar store owner be able to talk to us about the book and how they're leveraging it for their business. And at the same time, nothing is better than to have somebody say, well, I'm not going to buy a mattress from you now. I want to go try this out first. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a huge compliment. And those people are going to come back around to you, especially when the tips no longer are working for that old mattress. They'll come around to you. Yep. So what is the one thing you most misunderstood about becoming an author?
So the only person that really cared about my new book being written was my grandma. Like, you write this book, you pour into it, your family, your spouse, your employees know of it, they're a part of it. If you're smart, you ask people who trust and know will give you honest, critical feedback. But at the end of the day, the reality is you have to go market this book. You have to, like, the ways that I gave to share it and sell it and get it out there, like, that all has to happen. Writing a book is not Field of Dreams. Like, just because you wrote it, they ain't going to read it. And you have to market it, which I know is might be a cliched thing, but you have to have that plan as well.
Well, you'd be amazed how many people don't know. They still are coming to publishers thinking the publisher does it. And that hasn't happened since the 1990s. But people are still thinking that publishers will market the book for them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's I don't think we can say it enough to people.
I would almost suggest you to somebody who has an idea for a book, feels they could write it. I would say work that marketing plan out first. Like, get some buy-in locally from local press, local people, local referral partners, or if you're more national or global referral partner, like, lay out that marketing plan and get some buy-in from people that might help you promote it first. Give them the synopsis, give them the outline, spend a couple bucks on Fiverr and get a cover done, and or a proposed cover done, and see if there's interest, because kind of like that little gift box, maybe the book that you have in you isn't exactly the first one, maybe it's the second one.
And that's a good point. A lot of authors don't know sometimes the first book that you need to write, it takes the second book to sell the first book. And that's something I found out, was that I wrote my first book, but it wasn't until I wrote my second book. And by the time I wrote my third book, then my copies were really selling. I had some massive momentum. So I don't mean to dissuade anyone, but that's kind of how it works. So you're right. Thank you for mentioning multiple volumes. Now, You're one of those amazing people that not only do you have this podcast, but you also came up with this clothing line. And because I used to be a professor, and we were at George Wythe College, and I was teaching fundamental principles of the Declaration of Independence, the Federalist Papers, Anti-Federalist Papers. Talk to us a little bit about this clothing line and what was the story behind that?
Yeah, so it really began, I guess, September of 2019, when I became an official United States citizen. So I was born in Canada, lived here legally on the green card for years, And it was time to renew all that. I just said, what am I doing? I'm not moving back. I have my family here. Let's just formalize this thing. So that's what I did. And in that, I got a little pocket constitution, which I've always had pocket constitutions around. I carry one in my little daily duffel bag that I carry around. But I got that one, and I kind of reread it again for I don't know how many times. It just hit a little different, and it stuck with me. So I started kind of casually just researching the original 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence. And, history in school doesn't really spend a lot of time on what the crown did to those men in that 11 years between 1776, July 4th, and then the signing of, the Constitution coming to be in 1787. So there, some were murdered, some were tortured, families. I don't know that any family members were murdered by the crown, but they might have been tortured. They might have been held captive. There was land and wealth confiscated. Some of them died alone, sad, depressed. Just really a lot of rough stuff. And it was that level of tyranny that I'm not necessarily saying we live in a tyrannical nation now, but I think a lot of people, depending on what side of things you're on, can agree our nation is in this spot where none of us are really comfortable. And I think if we can get back to a common ideal of what our nation needs to be, we can like come together again. Mm-hmm. And that's what Signer 57 is about at its core. So whether I sell a bunch of shirts or not, it doesn't really matter. To me, it's about a fun passion project. And if it becomes something bigger, great. But thus far, it's been pretty well received.
Well, and it's one of those things that, like I said, as a professor and talking about this, we actually dug deep into specific signers, and we found that in order to keep the crown from confiscating anything of value, that they would gather up their families, they would torch their businesses and their homes, they would set them on fire. Yep. And walk away from them with the clothing and whatever they could carry. And they would walk away from them just so that all they got was scorched earth. And that was the point of it. And that was like 6 or 7 of them that had to do that. And winter was coming on. It wasn't like they had a Walmart that they could go to afterwards, And so when you start hearing some of those stories, you're like, this was a big deal to get out from under a monarchy. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I love being able to talk about these things. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to trot out some of my history. And when I saw that, I was like, we're going to talk a little bit about that on this show. So Jeff has answered our questions. And if you want more information, where should people go? Where do you send people to get more information about what you do?
Yeah, I mean, you can, I'm sure my name will be with the show notes. So Jeff Giagnocavo is not like a common name like Jeff Smith. But if you want to learn about what I do in the retail business, you go to gardnersmattressandmore.com. If you want to check out what I'm doing with my podcast show, if you just search in any podcast player, The Big Ticket Life, it'll come up. We do live stream the show. So it's on my personal Facebook and LinkedIn under my name. It's on YouTube. If you look up The Big Ticket Life, we stream it on those channels, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn every Tuesday. It gets streamed out there and then hits the players about a week later. And then on the Signer 57 stuff, if you just go to signer57.com, you get to go there too and check out what I'm doing there.
Thanks so much. We really appreciate your time today being our spotlighted author.
Well, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
And if you are an author, or if you know of an author and you would like us to spotlight them, please visit our website, authorpodcasting.com, where you will find the 99 Author Project listed. We talk to all authors from all walks of life as we're building out book number 12, the advice of authors from authors to authors, which will be published in 2023. And this is Janine Bolon signing off with you today, and all of us here at the 8 Gates that produces the Janine Bolon Show. We wish you a wonderful week, and we encourage you to get your message, your story, or your knowledge out into the world and make it a better place, just like today's author, Jeff, who is doing it in his specific way. We'll see you again next week. Until then, keep sharing what you know with others. Keep shining that light that is you. And don't forget to go out today and do something for yourself that's just plain fun. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Janine Bolon Show. Be sure to subscribe to our show notes by going to thejaninebolonshow.com, where you'll find additional resources as well as the opportunity to sign up to receive our program in your email each week. Be sure to visit our sponsor at the8gates.com.